Hey everybody, how you doing today? Ended up having some more time this weekend to do some testing. So I've got 3 detectors out here with me right now. I've got the Vanquish 340 that I borrowed from a friend. I've got the Deus 2 and I've got the Manticore. I've got various coils and I'm going to test on the Manticore. Got the 9-inch and I've got the 5x8, which is the M8. And then I've also got a Noke to triple score coming that'll be here on Wednesday. And I'll get that put together, run it a few days before I do some testing on that. But I'll run it through these same tests. It's a metal detector that's about $479. Really good deal for what you get in that package. So I'm going to test that. So for now, what we're going to do is, I will tell you that the Vanquish 340 will not hit any of these tests I've got set up. So we're just going to not even show that. I've tried all these above ground tests and the Vanquish 340 will not hit it. Now I've also tested some other single frequency detectors that I've got. I've got a Fisher F70. It has a real tough time on them. And I've also got just a Bounty Hunter Tracker Pro that's got a concentric 6-inch coil. It will not hit any of these either. So the single frequencies really struggle with these tests, but what we're going to do today is I'm going to get the Manticore and I'm going to do some of these. Now I wanted to say something. I had a couple of comments. Lauren had mentioned that height matters as far as how far above the test you're doing that. Sometimes when you get higher or closer to the nails, a detector will work better on the test than they do at different distances. And when I did the Deus test, I tried to keep that consistent. So when I was outside of the ground, I was swinging about an inch above. When I put it in the ground, I was still really close to the ground. So I feel like I was an inch above the nail, the top nail, and 2 to 2.5 inches away from the coin that was in the test. Well, that depended on the test that was being buried, but I tried to keep those consistent so that there wasn't a variable there. So on the Manticore, we're going to try to do the same thing, and I'm going to go over each of these tests that I've got sitting here above ground and then below. Now another person commented they wanted to see a bottle cap test. So I've got a bottle cap and a piece of flat tin there with a quarter in between it, and I can tell you right now that all the machines really struggle with that test. So when you knock out the bottle cap, you knock out the flat tin, you also knock out the quarter. And a dime and a penny is just about impossible to get with that test right there. But I'll show that with a couple of detectors with this particular video here. But let's get to it. We'll get the Manticore out, we'll go over these, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we're going to do this bottle cap test real quick here first. I've got the Deus out. I'm just going to run it in fast. We'll use the same settings we did on the other test, with the exception of on bottle caps. Silencer is going to be at 0. We'll still run pitch. Bottle caps, I'm going to have to run at 1 in order to knock out the bottle cap and the flat tin that's on there. And we're going to get the notch turned off. And sensitivity will do 90. Iron volume, we'll leave it 7. Reactivity at 3. Audio response we'll leave at 3. And let's run the sensitivity down. Let's just leave that. Let me change one other thing. Let's go down on the kilohertz, because the higher kilohertz seems to grab the bottle cap and the tin worse than a lower frequency. So we'll go 24, kind of split the difference there. We'll ground balance real quick here. And then we'll go over the bottle cap test. So as you can see, we're knocking out the bottle cap. I mean, if you get right down on, you can cherry pick the quarter. But I mean, if you're just swinging along, no way. Let's take the quarter out real quick. Show that we're knocking out. So we've got the bottle cap and the flat tin knocked out with the Deus 2. So let me grab the Manticore real quick. Just show you with the M8 coil, since that's what I've got on there. I've already tested it with a 9. It doesn't do any better. Okay, for this test, we're going to run in all-terrain fast. And I've already ground balanced it. It came out at 5. We'll run recovery at 6. That's 1 down from stock. The discrimination pattern we're going to leave the same. Ferrous limits we're going to leave the same. Now, this ferrous limits pattern is enough to knock out bottle caps. You could decrease it if you wanted to. I'm just going to leave it stock. If you were to go into general or something, or trash, your lower ferrous limits are going to be higher. But I'll just keep this the same. Under your stabilizer, I've got everything off, 0 and off. And we're going to use one region, all tones, and audio theme normal, and we'll use a medium profile on this since we're not trying to detect anything deep. And then we're going to run the sensitivity down just a bit, and we'll run it open, horseshoe off. So here it is over the bottle cap and the tin. You can cherry pick the quarter, but it's still tough. So you're still getting some of that bottle cap and tin coming through, but it's broken up enough that you can tell that it's not good. But the problem with discriminating out flat tin and bottle caps is you're losing a lot of coins that are close proximity just because of the discrimination that it takes to knock those out. So not as easy to knock out as nails. So let's get these other tests out. We'll go over them real quick. Okay, we're going to do M8 coil first over these tests, then we'll grab the 9. So same settings as bottle cap, except for that I'm going to go in and I'm going to well, actually I'm not going to change anything because the stabilizer's not on. Ferrous limits will knock out most of our iron, so we'll go with those same settings. We're going to use fast. So here's your nickel test. I'm right on it there. I'm about 1 inch above there. So as you rotate around it, the coin comes in better and better. Here's the dime with, the last one was a nickel, 2 nails. This is a dime, 3 nails. Again, about 1 inch above. I mean, we're getting a little click there, but you could easily discern that as falsing. Coming through a little better from that angle. And we got the token with 2 nails. Token with 2 nails. Not going to get that. Can from that angle. If you hit it from that angle coming in, you'd be able to dig that, but the 2 nails really makes this tough. On this one here, I'm going to just switch modes real quick here. We'll go to general first. Let me just check out what the speed is in general. It's 6. Well, this is my Relic Pro. I use general for my Relic, so we'll leave it like that. I'm happy with the setup we got. Let's do low conductors. Not going to hit it. And let's do trash. Probably won't hit it either because the discrimination's so high. So let's go high conductor. Not going to hit that straight on. We can try increasing the recovery speed to 5 on that one. We'll go up to 7. Still not enough to bring that through on the 2 nails. And I'm about an inch above. I can go higher. I can go right on it and just not going to pick it up. And we'll go back to general, or back to fast on this other test with the penny. So this penny test, in my opinion, is the most difficult. It's got 2 nails in close proximity, 2 different levels. And the Manticore just will not hit that either with the 5x8 coil. So let me put the 9-inch on and I'll be right back. Alright, hey, I've got the M9 on. We've got the same test, same settings. All terrain fast, ground balance 5, recovery 6. Using the stock ferrous limits, everything else is the same. Let's see, we're about an inch off. Doesn't have too much problem with that. Trace is horrible, but you can kind of tell there's multiple targets there. Alright, we got the dime up next. Hit the dime. At least that one direction. And going around a little bit too. So we'll stop here, make one comment. Already looking like in this situation a bigger coil is unmasking better than that small coil. I personally like the 9-inch coil better unless I'm gold hunting in a lot of rocks or brush or stuff like that. And then I like the M8, but I am so happy that they came out with this M9 because it's such a better all-purpose coil in my opinion. If you don't need depth and you don't want to use the 11, this 9 is a great coil. And then here's the token. Again, the 9 will hit the token where the 8 will not. And I bet if I were to throw on the 11, it would hit it too. I just think the way the double D set up and the close proximity we have with the nails to the coin, probably the magnetic field or the field that's created by the double D coil on a bigger coil is unmasking better in these situations than a smaller coil. So something to remember. And then finally the penny. So the Manticore is still not going to hit the penny. Just that one direction. Okay, let me get the token back out here and then we're going to bury it. So we're tracing negative. We got the trace coming down into the region that's accepted. But, I mean, I think the audio's good enough that you would probably dig that. And then I will bury this, but before I do that, this is, I just want to show you that the Vanquish will not hit this. So let me grab the Vanquish really quick and then we'll bury this target. Okay, so the Vanquish we're just going to run in custom, which is basically everything open. We've got our sensitivity run about midway, and iron bias on this thing is high, so we'll go over the coin here. We really got no adjustments on this. Doesn't matter if I'm right on it. If I get really high, I can get it, but I don't think that's practical. If I'm hunting close to the ground and I'm trying to compare it to those other detectors, the only way I can really hit it is this side direction. But coming straight on, just like I said before, the Vanquish not hit any of these tests. So now let's bury this with the Manticore, see if the ID or the audio itself gets any better, because this is one of the easier ones to get. Couldn't hit the penny. I did the token and the penny last time, so we'll do just the token this time since the Manticore is struggling on the penny. Okay, so let's get this buried up, and in the hole here I have to put a little bit of dirt in because that's probably about an inch. All right, grab the Manticore, turn it back on. Okay, here's a Manticore, same settings, fast. So I am really not able to get this at this point. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab the Deus 2. We're going to go over that and see if we can pick it up. This is a different day. Things may have changed a little bit. Maybe it won't pick it up, but if it does, I think that's a good testament that the Deus 2 is really a pretty decent machine and iron. Okay, we'll have to go in and change some things since I've just reset this, turned it back on, and we're going to have silencer and all that other stuff in it that I'll need to get rid of. So we'll take the notch out, we'll get the silencer down to 0, and then everything else should be the way I want it set up. So Deus 2 easily hitting that token in the ground where the Manticore would not. Now I could go through and change settings and all that kind of stuff, but I mean, I think Manticore in fast pretty much is set up for trashy environments like this and where you want to have the ability to unmask. So I don't really think there's any reason to go in and change all that. I mean, the Deus 2 is just doing so much better of a job on this particular target, and probably would on the others too. And if you remember on the last test, and if you didn't catch that, go back and watch it. The penny was just a click, but it was there, whereas the Manticore really struggled on that target. So anyway, thanks for watching. I will be getting the triple score here shortly. We'll retest the triple score on some of these targets just like we've done here, and maybe throw another machine in as well, just to compare it and show apples to apples type things with it. So stay tuned for that test coming up in a few days, maybe a week or so. Thanks for watching.